So I was really into Fate back in 2020, when the world was reset. And after I finished Fate Zero, I knew I had to look at Nasu's other works because he's just like that, honestly. See, Fate, it's not like the rest. It's got a great cast of characters and amazing music on top of that. So I watched the rest of his Fate works except for one. Anyway, Witch on the Holy Night. Yeah, it's pretty good and has actual good female characters who push the plot forward and don't get sidelined. It's kind of crazy. So I got into Mahotsukai no Yoru, or Mihoyo for short, because I'm not going to call it the former, when it got a re-release on December 14th, 2023 for Steam, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 4. Yeah, and I'll link the YouTube channel to where I got the footage for Mihoyo. So, thank you. I've heard of Mihoyo before since it's chronologically the first story in the Nasuverse, which is what the fans call it, since it basically takes place in the same universe with the same roles. Since this will be my first time reading a visual novel, and because I heard a lot of good things about it going into it, my expectations were high, but Mihoyo lived up to it. Witch on the Holy Night starts with our heroine Aoko Awazaki picking up the phone and being called in to show a transfer student around the school since the teacher calling her, Mr. Yamashiro, is lazy as hell. So Aoko gets to the school and walks with Mr. Yamashiro and arrives at the room where the transfer student is waiting. Sojiro Shizuki is someone who's lived in the mountains for all of his life before transferring to Masaki High School, so he doesn't really understand city life very well since he didn't, have internet. So after some entertaining banter between the two of them, he leaves to go to work. And one night while he's coming home from work, he sees Aoko and a girl in black who we come to find out is named Alice Kuonji, the owner of the mansion that Aoko is living in. And they're looking at a body that Aoko set on fire, so that can't be good. Shizuki agrees, so after seeing all this go down, he starts to run for it. The next day, they figure out who it was that was watching them. I mean, it was pretty obvious. I even said who it was. So to keep him quiet, they let him stay with them in the mansion so they can find something to erase his memories so he doesn't tell anyone. That's the basic premise of Mihoyo, as we follow our three main characters as they go about their day, talking with each other and getting to know each other. I really like Shizuki as a character because his interactions with the other characters are pretty funny, like how you shouldn't jump out the third floor of a school window to get to work. And I love the pairing with Aoko and Sojiro, mostly because whenever they're on screen, you know it's gonna be a good time, and he just listens to her talk with the most ditto face I've ever seen. Alice is probably my favorite character in Mihoyo. She might look like she has no personality at the start and seems kinda bland when you first meet her, but when you start putting the pieces together and understand why she says and does certain things in the story, she becomes a really fun character to always see on screen with Sojiro and Aoko. I don't think she'll ever admit it, but you can tell she enjoys her time with them. I think most people can agree that music is important if you're telling a story. It can set the mood or enhance it. For me personally, when I finish a game, there will always be that one song that encapsulates the entire feeling of the game for me. If I had to choose one song from the soundtrack in this case, it would probably be On the Way Home. Composed by James Harris, the song has a bittersweet feel to it, and I can't help but love it. I mean, yeah, there are other songs like Five and First Star, which are really good too. But this song conveys everything I feel about Mihoyo. It was just fun watching the characters talking and getting to know each other. Other songs I have to mention are all the main character themes. My favorite of the three songs is definitely Aoko's. It just sounds so good with the first half being kind of mysterious and laid back. These three are composed by Hideyuki Fukasawa, the lead composer of MiHoYo. I didn't know a lot about Hideyuki other than that he worked on Unlimited Blade Works, but with his work on MiHoYo, I can definitely put him in the top 5 after playing it. And the other composers like Kate and Hill do a very good job with establishing the mood with something as restrictive as a visual novel, where not too many things are moving around, honestly, but I think that's just what makes the songs better, since you can really just sit down and listen to them. I was surprised to find out that Ryo arranged the ending theme. I know his music from mostly Project Diva with songs like Jaded, When First Love Ends, and That 1 Second in Slow Motion being some of my favorites, with the lyrics being sung by Nagi Yanagi. I think she does a good job sending the game off with a sweet and content tone to it. Um, Thank you for taking the time to hear me talk about something I'm not even sure you'll like. This is my first time making this type of video. I'm pretty sure that's obvious. So I'm really hoping I made it at least, somewhat presentable. I mostly made this video just because I wanted to talk about MiHoYo. And, since there's a movie coming out probably like next year in spring or winter, I thought it might be a good time to really, play it and give my thoughts on it. I'm kind of sad that I'm done with it, right? I feel like MiHoYo could have benefited from a few extra hours. I'm happy I got to play it.